welcome to Hospo Health. I'm Gaye. Today I'm here to talk to you about shift work and disrupted sleep patterns. Disrupted sleep patterns and inadequate sleep can be key challenges faced by shift work. Generally speaking, we need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every 24 hours for good health. Not getting this puts us at risk of a variety of chronic disease, but perhaps it is the acute, in the moment, fatigue, low mood and just general struggle to get through the shift in life that hits the hardest for shift workers. Whilst we can't change the work hours for shift work, we can use some nutrition strategies to optimise our ability to get good quality sleep. Looking first at the avoid or minimise strategies, we have caffeine. Long before scientists discovered caffeine some 200 years ago, humans right back to the Stone Age consumed certain plants and substances ranging from coffee beans to tea leaves, cocoa beans, cola nuts and guarana as a way to boost energy, to treat headaches, lethargy and pain. Caffeine has a variety of physiological effects on the body, but possibly one of its most well-known and well-experienced is as a central nervous system stimulant. It increases wakefulness and alertness, and what a bonus for some, improves mood. It's quick acting in that these symptoms start to appear very shortly after consumption and can last for several hours. Typically, it takes most bodies around 3.5 to 5 hours to get rid of half the dose of caffeine consumed, though there can still be traces left in the blood up to 24 hours later. So, for shift workers struggling to wake up for a shift or get through the hours ahead, caffeine-containing foods and drinks can be a godsend. But for workers nearing the end of their shift, consuming caffeine then can be a disaster for upcoming sleep. Caffeine doesn't just come from coffee, it's also present in black and green tea, cola drinks and chocolate, as well as food and beverages especially formulated to include caffeine, like the widely marketed energy drinks like Red Bull, V, Mother, Monster and Rockstar, which in addition to caffeine are chock full of sugar and best avoided at any time. Knowing some approximate doses of caffeine present in these foods and drinks is useful. One of the challenges with tea and coffee is the caffeine dose can vary massively. Studies have shown testing coffee from the same retailer on the same day can yield huge differences in caffeine content. For example, a 2007 study found the caffeine content in a typical 250 ml size brewed coffee ranged from 130 mils up to 282 milligrams of caffeine, which is actually more than a standard 250 ml can of Red Bull, which has about 80 milligrams of caffeine. The caffeine content of a 250 ml serve of black tea is less, ranging in this same study from 25 to 110 milligrams of caffeine. 60 grams of milk chocolate gave between 5 to 15 milligrams of caffeine. More concentrated dark chocolate gave between 10 and 50 milligrams of caffeine. A standard Coke will give you 34 milligrams. If you switch to Diet Coke, it's 46 milligrams. Pepsi Max ups the stakes to 68 milligrams. Some people appear more genetically sensitive to caffeine than others, but typically it's wise to keep your caffeine dose below around 3 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body mass, or at worst no more than 6 milligrams per kilogram of what you weigh. For most of us, that's the equivalent of around 2 cups of coffee a day, or one coffee, one tea and a small piece of chocolate. Putting this into practice, if you like coffee and drink it whilst on shift, try to stick to 1 to 2 cups, ideally within the first half of your shift. If you're an avid tea drinker like myself, switch from black or green tea to caffeine-free options like peppermint or most herbal options about 6 to 8 hours prior to your bedtime. And opt for the snack options mentioned in my earlier video over blocks of chocolate to keep you going. Another negative sleep impactor is alcohol. I'm hoping you aren't drinking alcohol whilst on shift, but perhaps working in hospitality it's very much in your face and it might be tempting when you clock off to have an alcoholic drink to wind down. But alcohol has a nasty negative impact on sleep quality, which is just as important as sleep duration. Practicing other wind-down habits like easy yoga, stretching or journaling are much better than defaulting to a glass of wine or 10. So as we talked about earlier, making sure you're eating regularly across your shift will help reduce the risk of needing to bash down a massive meal because you're ferociously hungry when your shift finishes. Diets that are high in fat can negatively influence total sleep time, which can be a good reason to swap snacking on high-fat crisps, donuts, chocolates and the like during shift for fruit, whole grains, yogurt or small handfuls of nuts. Enough of the avoid this, don't do that messages. What about what you can do and focus on to promote good sleep? Eating a pre-sleep meal, ideally 1 to 2 hours prior to sleep, that includes carbohydrates and protein is helpful. The portion of this meal should leave you feeling comfortable, that is, no longer hungry, but not starting to feel too full. Try to eat slowly if you can and practice noticing where this sweet spot of full just right is for you personally. The protein tryptophan, found especially high in turkey and pumpkin or pepita seeds, and also in milk, yogurt, eggs, chicken, fish, peanuts, tofu and soy, is a building block used to make the important sleep hormones serotonin and melatonin. Including these foods, especially in your pre-sleep meal or snack, can be beneficial for sleep. In addition to eating sources of tryptophan, eating foods with a high concentration of melatonin can decrease the amount of time needed to fall asleep. This includes options like tart cherries, raspberries, goji berries, walnuts, almonds and tomatoes. Some research also suggests ensuring that you're meeting your magnesium needs is important for sleep. Good sources of magnesium include green leafy vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds and legumes, all of which make for easy portable work snacks and meals. So, in summary, the key nutrition messages for supporting your sleep are: eat meals and snacks consistently across your shift. Aim to include a source of protein and carbohydrate in these meals and snacks. Nuts, seeds, whole grain crackers, yogurt and fruit are much better sleep promoting snacks than high fat, high salt processed options. Drink your coffee and caffeinated tea in the first half of your shift, then switch to caffeine-free options. And reach for a glass of milk over a glass of wine in your bed wind down time.